Alright guys, today we're going to be going over a quick recap video, and then we're going to be going from week January 13th through January 17th. So this is last week as of recording, and we're going to be going over the 4 biggest winners and losers for that particular week. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with oil right now. And the way that I'm going to try to structure this now is just basically give you an idea of what we had seen before we actually got into the trade, and then show you what our ideal parameters were for take profit and stop loss, and then show you exactly what actually happened. So in this one, you can see on the daily time frame that we did have a 63% weekly retracement, 38% monthly plus structure, and then a monthly close. So we had anticipated it going up, assuming it continued closing above this. However, we did get in around right here, and let's go down to a 4-hour. We had the stop loss a little bit below this particular structure area, and then what happened is when we had entered, it tested it obviously, and then it broke through, and then it hit our stop loss, stopping us out completely. So the reason why stop losses are important is because you can see if we didn't have a stop loss, we would be an additional 400 pips in the negative basically. So that's exactly why we have stop losses when we're doing these trades, because we're not right all the time, and when we're not right, we don't want to lose more money than needed. So that's oil. We're looking at oil. Next is going to be our biggest winner, and this is going to be AUD. Give you a quick overview of what we had seen. So we had a harmonics pattern completed, plus there was some structural support on that area as well. But what happened is it broke through, and this area was actually in confluence with a monthly and weekly support range. So what we had done is we had just executed based off of the harmonic pattern completed and that structure. And what happened is this was our anticipated result, and then this is what actually had occurred. So when we entered the trade, we almost hit our stop loss. We were relatively close. We were about less than 10 pips away. And then what happened is when we had started making a move upward, structure started showing signs of reversing, and we just kind of anticipated that it wasn't going to continue going in our direction, and we decided to close out right here. So this was still a 1 to almost 4 risk to reward ratio, whereas this is a 1 to 9 risk to reward ratio. So this is still pretty good ratio. But we can see that price did actually end up coming back down, and if we did not move it or take profit right here, we would have moved it our stop loss to break even or a little bit above to cover commission and swap charges, and we would have been stopped out at that break even point. So we're lucky that we actually monitored the price and decided to close out when we did. So that's AUD NZ. The next is going to go through Euro Pound. This is what we have going on for Euro Pound in the coming days, but what happened is actually we came up and started testing this area of resistance, which was actually a weekly area of resistance as well. So we entered in on this trade, and we barely missed our stop loss by like maybe a fraction of a pip, came down, and then we actually ended up in a take profit, as you can see right here. So the same thing had occurred. We had started seeing areas of reversal on a lower time frame, and what occurred is we just wanted to take out the profit that we did have, and this was leaving us around a 1 to 2 roughly risk reward ratio. So not ideal, but it's certainly within our parameters. Euro Pound, and like I said, this from the last video, if you haven't seen it already, is what we had seen for Euro Pound in the coming days. So check out that last video. And then the last pair that we're going to be covering is gold. So let's take a quick look at what we saw on the daily time frame. So we have a 38% Fibonacci on the monthly leg, plus weekly resistance, and then daily respecting as support. So what we did is actually we entered in on that trade because of all the confluence that was showing that it was going to be bullish. And the unfortunate thing is our stop loss was barely nicked, and it ended up going back in our direction. So that's the downside of having a stop loss. You're gonna get stopped out inevitably, and you just have to take that in consideration, because sometimes there are market spikes and it will stop you out, and then it will reverse immediately into your direction, and if not, to your take profit. That's happened to me several times personally trading, and it's just a bummer, but it's the name of the game. It happens, so you have to be aware of that and try your best to not get trapped into that. So what we did here is we actually put about 50 pips between the last low. So there is a significant amount of distance between the last previous structural low. So that's why we felt like we were safe. But as you can see, it barely nicked us, closing out our trade, unfortunately. And then it ended up going back into our direction, retreating this area of support as support. So we can see that we tested it so once, twice, and then almost another time right here. So we ended up going back into our direction, breaking above this daily support area and then treating it as support once more. So bummer, we got nicked by our stop loss. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Those are our two biggest winners and losers. So you can see that one of them was because we placed our stop loss a little bit too low, but it ended up going in our direction. And then the other one was just completely wrong. As you can see here, so the stop loss actually prevented us from losing a lot more money. So two of our biggest losers, one prevented us from losing a lot more money, one just barely nicked our stop loss, ended up going our direction, and then our two biggest winners for that particular week ended up giving us roughly about 1.2% total between the two. So we ended the week with about a 3.8% of profit for that particular week, so it's not terrible, but yeah, that's just the name of the game, and these are the two biggest winners and losers. So Monday the 27th, we're going to be doing a weekly forecast videos. We're going to be going over several different pairs. These are several of the pairs that we're looking at or already in. Remember, we have a lot more pairs that we are looking at on a daily, weekly basis, so be sure to check out our MAM channel. Until then, I'll see you guys next Friday when we're recapping trades for the 13th through the 17th, and then Monday for a forecast of that particular week. Thanks again. See you guys in the next video. Bye. What's up, guys? I want to say thank you again for checking out this breakdown for this particular pair. And I want to ask you guys to not only like and comment on this video, but also go check out our MAM channel. We have a channel dedicated specifically for breakdowns of the pairs and positions that we're actually entering or were already entered. So if you are interested in just getting a little bit more supplementary information and understanding how we analyze the market, go check out that MAM channel. It will be somewhere in the description or in the bio above. So thank you again, guys. I appreciate it. Go check out the MAM channel, like and comment, and don't forget to follow us for more of these free analysis videos. Thank you again. Talk to you soon. Bye.